Welcome back to the channel. If you have just started training jiu-jitsu, or maybe you've been doing it for a little bit, you've gotten some positions down, you've worked on some sweeps, but you're having trouble getting off any submissions and finishing your matches, then this video is for you, because today we're going to be going over the first 10 submissions that you should learn. The submissions that we're going to be going over today are both high percentage, and also they don't require a whole lot of skill and coordination in order to learn. With a modest amount of practice, even a complete beginner should start seeing some success with these submissions. And since everybody is going to have their own style and pick up on different submissions easier than others, I will be going over 10 submissions, so hopefully you'll be able to pick up 3 that you'll be able to start working and hitting in class. So if you guys are ready, put on your thinking caps and let's get right into this. The armbar is one of the most basic and effective submissions in jiu-jitsu. From the guard, grab your opponent's neck, step on their hip and pinch your knee against their shoulder to keep them from pulling their arm out. Then bring your bottom leg across their shoulders as you rotate your body perpendicular to theirs. Then bring your top leg over their head and curl down with your foot. This will prevent them from stacking and pulling their arm out. To finish, grab the wrist with both hands and hip in. Be sure to keep their thumb pointed up when you do this. And it's important to cut an angle and be as smooth as possible when you throw that top leg over their head, as any gaps may give them enough space to escape the submission. You can also go for the armbar from high mount. When I do this, I like to stay on top of my partner. That way I keep my weight on him for maximal control. And from side control, if you slide your leg over their bottom arm, you can use your underhook to transition to the spinning armbar. This is a great way of catching your opponent off guard. The Americana or key lock is a great submission for white belts and one of the first submissions that I learned. When your opponent frames on your neck, grab their shoulder and use your underhook to push their arm out. Then grab their wrist, shove it to the mat, and use your underhook to grab your own wrist. To finish, bring their elbow closer to their hip and rotate your grip. When I go for this submission, I like to put my elbow on the mat right next to their neck. If you don't do this, your opponent will have enough space to turn away from you to defend the submission. The Americana is a great submission for pressure passers that like to secure dominant positions before they go for the submission. And you can also hit the Americana from multiple positions, including a mount. Also from mount, if they turn to their side when you go for the key lock, you can transition to the armbar on the other arm. For all of these reasons, the Americana is a great first submission to learn. The Kimura, similar to the Americana, is another basic arm lock. When my opponent pummels an underhook from bottom half guard, I like to switch my hips, putting weight on their underhook. I'll then use my elbow to pry their wrist to the ground. Then I'll grab their wrist with my hand and grab my own wrist with my top hand. From there, I'll slide my knee up to their armpit to keep their shoulders on the mat. And then I'll rotate my grip, thinking about moving their hand up above their head like the arms of a clock. I also like to keep their wrist away from their body. If they grab their pants, it can be very hard to break the grip and finish the submission. As a beginner, this is a great basic submission to learn, and as you become more advanced, if you master the Kimura trap, you'll be able to hit it from virtually any position. From full guard, if you can make your partner touch the mat, turn to your side and attack that arm. Also from half guard, when your partner pummels the underhook, lock up the Kimura trap. If you have a good grip on it, you can kick your leg free from their half guard, pass the side control, hop over to north-south, and finish it from there. The triangle is another great submission at all levels, from white belt through to top level black belts. From closed guard, grab your partner's neck to break down their posture, then shove their wrist up against their chest, throw your top leg over their neck, cutting across their shoulder, grab your shin and figure 4 your legs. I like to walk back with my shoulders and pull their head down to finish the choke. Another way to finish the triangle is to turn yourself perpendicular to your partner and grab their leg as you squeeze your legs. And when you set up the triangle, it's important to step on your partner's hip and squeeze your knee tight against their shoulder so that they can't pull out. And it's also important to keep your partner's posture broken down the entire time. As a submission, the triangle is about as versatile as they come. If you have your fundamentals down, you can hit it from just about anywhere. From high mounts, you can grab your partner's neck, shove their wrist to their chest, and attack a triangle much like you would from guard. You can also roll to your back if they don't tap, cut an angle, and finish it much like you would from the bottom. The Darce choke is a really high percentage submission and one of my personal favorites. From the front headlock, slide your arm underneath your partner's armpits past their neck. Then clamp your hands together with your thumb in between your peace fingers. Then bring your elbows together and drive your shoulder into your partner's chest to bump him over to his side. To finish, slide your hand down your partner's neck to the figure 4 position, squeeze everything together, and sprawl out. When I lock up the choke, I like to bring my lever hand as close to his shoulder as possible to maximize my squeeze. And once you've locked up the Darce, if you step over to mount to finish, it makes for a much nastier squeeze. From top quarter guard, you can also slide their arm across their body and attack the Darce from there. You can also use the Darce to pass and finish it by sprawling out. Alright guys, this is the intermission / recess point of the video where I'm checking in with you guys to make sure that you're actually getting some value out of this. If you are, just let me know by hitting the like button. Let's get right back into the video. The bow and arrow choke is one of the most basic key chokes and the first one that I learned. From back control, grab your partner's collar with your top arm, with your bottom arm reach for their knee, use it to bring their leg towards you as you cut an angle, bring your legs over your partner's shoulder, and cross your ankles for the finish. And when you go for this choke, it's important to keep your shoulder behind your partner's neck to keep them from rolling out of the choke. And if your partner walks their way over you, you can lock up the grip, keeping your shoulder behind their neck, and then get out from under them to throw your leg over to go for the finish. You can also bring your bottom arm behind their neck to finish with a half Nelson. The bow and arrow choke can be hit from just about anywhere where your partner's back is exposed, which is why in modern jiu-jitsu it's become the most frequently used choke. Similar to the bow and arrow, the rear naked choke is a great attack from the back. From the back, slide your top hand underneath your partner's chin, grabbing their shoulder. Be sure to keep your shoulder behind their neck. To finish, bring your free arm behind your partner's neck in a figure 4 position and squeeze everything together. When you go for this, do not lift your head above their shoulder as it will make it very hard to finish the choke. Instead, you want to think about biting down on their shoulder with your chin. In addition to making the choke tighter, it will also give you better back control. You can also finish the choke just by gable gripping your hands together. And if you have a good grip, you don't even need to have your hooks in, you can simply walk back and choke them with your shoulder and forearm. The arm triangle is another great submission, especially for a good point fighter. When your partner frames on you from bottom side control, grab their armpit with your crossface arm and use your underhook to walk their elbow high. Grab their head, replace their arm with your head, gable grip your hands together, squeeze everything in tight, and you can step over and switch your hips to finish the choke. This choke is all about squeezing everything tight and using your head to pressure their neck into your bicep. As such, you can also hop over to one side to apply pressure into their head. If you already have a good crossface, this is a great tool to add to your arsenal. Another position you can hit this submission out of is mount. I'm honestly a fan of going for the hip switch finish. The straight ankle is a great first leg lock to learn. Getting started on your leg locks early can give you an advantage later down the road. Grab your partner's foot and knee. Step on their hip as you fall to your side. To finish, bring your hand high to your chest. Grab it with your other hand and look over your shoulder as you hip in. It's also important to step on your partner's hip as you fall down, otherwise you give them an easy sweep. Also, be sure to fall to your side. It gives you better leverage. And if you fall flat on your shoulders, it gives your opponent an easy sweep. Another small detail that will give you more leverage is looking over your shoulder as you hip in for the tap. The straight ankle lock can also be attacked from the honey hole. Just grab the ankle and launch yourself forward as you hip in. You can also enter the position normally, but finish it belly down. The X choke is another basic submission, but a lot of people don't seem to be able to do it correctly. From guard, grab your partner's gi cross collar somewhat deeply. Reach around their head and make a grip on their gi with your other hand nice and firm. The key to finishing is pulling your elbows towards your hips as you drive your head into theirs. Since guard is basically mount upside down, it should come as no surprise that you can also hit the X choke from mount. You can also use the X choke to bait the defense and transition into the mounted armbar. And if you're really confident in your X choke, you can also hit it from standing. Although I've hit this before, I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner. Alright guys, those are the first 10 submissions that every white belt should learn. Now I decided to throw 10 of them in there because you're going to pick up on some of them easier than others. So hopefully out of these 10, you'll pick up 3 to 6 of them that you'll be able to use and hit somewhat regularly in class. Because once you start hitting submissions in class, finishing your matches, jiu-jitsu is just going to be a whole lot funner. If you guys found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button. And if you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing. My name's Jedi. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 7 years now, and I draw from all that experience to give you guys practical jiu-jitsu videos that you can use the next time that you're on the mat. If you guys have been around for a minute, you know that I usually post every Monday and Friday. However, I've got some good news for you guys. Yo boy got a job again, and because these longer videos take me up to 12 hours to shoot, edit, and upload, right now I no longer have enough time to make 2 videos a week of the quality that I want to make. Back when I first started this channel, I decided that I was never gonna prioritize quantity over quality. Every video that I make, I want it to be the best possible video that I have the ability to make. I know it sucks going down to 1 upload a week, but I'm pretty sure you guys understand. I will talk to you guys next Friday. Remember, stay consistent, and you can do anything. Peace.